Do you want to create your own fully 3D printed arcade machine? Just like our 2-player version, our new 1-player bar top arcade is roughly half the size, so uses half the filament. Below you'll find the files link where you can get them for free, as we never charge for these files. You'll also find links to our website so you can see parts lists and other things you may need along the way. The only thing we will not be providing due to legal complications and copyright issues is ROMs. If you don't know what ROMs are, they are the files needed to actually play the game. I will cover this a bit more later on, but for the time being we will set you up right from the start all the way to the point of it being built and having the emulation station operating system installed. We'll provide the file, so all you have to do is plug and play. So sit back, relax and enjoy. We are very new to YouTube, so we appreciate you being here, and if you'd like to see more from us, because we are about to invest in more filming equipment, please feel free to like and subscribe. So let's get right into it. Right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is go to the link down below and go to the actual file here on MakerWorld for the arcade machine. We'll click on it, and inside we will see here, don't worry about it saying private right now, it won't be private by the time this video is published. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here where it says download 3MF. Don't click this because it'll only give you one plate. We did toy with the idea of putting the entire machine split up on separate plates, but it's not a good idea, so we split it down again like last time. If you click the arrow and then you click on download STL or CAD files, here we have all of the individual panels and pieces and everything you're going to need. Download each one individually to your computer. All the information you need will be in the description as well, showing you everything you will want, including the additional parts list. Also bear in mind, in the description below there is a link to our website where you will be able to find the actual interactive parts list, where you can just click on the links. Also here we have a video which will explain to you how you want to use the colour change option within the print files we've done, so you can add multiple colours without having to glue things together. Once done, you should end up with something like this. Ignore this resources file at the end, but all of these are everything you will need for building this arcade machine. Everything is labelled exactly what it is as you go along, and what I suggest is you print everything out first before you start assembly. Some files have optional pieces, such as this one. This is your power panel, and what you'll see here is we have two optional ends. This is for an IEC connector, so if you want to have an IEC socket where you would use something like a 3-pin kettle lead to connect the machine like you would with a standard machine or a PC power supply, you would use this one. However, please note, whilst we will be using an IEC one in our own video, we will not be providing you advice on how to wire it up. The main reason being, we've had several in the past that have had different ways of wiring up and they're wired a little differently, so always refer to the manufacturer's instructions and make sure you are competent. If not, get a professional to wire in an IEC socket for you. Or the easier option is this one here, where you can just wire your extension lead straight through, back onto the plug, and it's already fused and everything straight into the socket. This one is our button control panel, and you'll find that we offer customization on quite a few things. So for example, you'll see on some of these panels, this one has just the letters. This one has the hexagonal inserts with the buttons here, which we've used in our one today, and this is just plain. Please feel free to mess with them, download them into any CAD software and do what you like, have some fun. Or you can just print our one that we use today, which is the one over here, which is a manual colour change as well. I'll cover that more in just a second. And this is the marquee, so the light up bit above the screen. We have provided the standard one on these 4 plates here, but if you want to do something different, use your own words or anything like that, we have provided blank inserts of the correct size and a blank branding stamp here, so you can do whatever you want with those. But if you do just want to print the one that you're going to see today, you'll see them right here, and you can just get them as they are. Now, what I'll do here is I will mention to you, if I slice this up above, you'll see right here, there's a line which is for the manual colour change. Go into the description on MakerWorld, watch the other video, it will explain that to you. Believe me, you will feel much better knowing you don't need an AMS and you can still do colour changes, and it will vastly improve your quality of printing. If you are very new and you don't know how to print, you really should watch some videos and not jump into something this big straight away. But if you want to get straight on with printing, dead simple, just click print plate and send it to your printer. I've optimized this to be used from an A1 upwards. You can't do it on an A1 mini, it's just too small. I did try, and you ended up with so many pieces we're sticking to the minimum 256mm build plate size. And once you have all of these printed out, you'll have something that looks like this. And this is what it looks like when you've got everything together, and we will start to get it all, you know, assembled and stuff. Try to keep them grouped as you go along. One thing you will note on every part as we go along is we've labelled them. So this one here is part E, and we have an A side and a B side. So when we join them together, you'll find very simply to put together all of the A sides go into the A side panel, and all of the B sides obviously go into the B side panel, but we'll cover that now as we jump on in. So let's get to the next section, which is going to be installing the operating system on the memory card. The reason I want to do that part now is because whilst everything's printing out, you can get this done. So if you follow the link down below onto our website, what we'll find here is our 3D printing resources and advice page. If you scroll down, as well as this great advice up here, you'll find the One Player Bar Top Arcade. This page is very new, and we are going to populate it with more and more projects, so be sure to check back from time to time. You'll see below here we have the bits for this, so you have your parts list here, which will download a Word file of all the parts and links. We have a controls file here, which is very simple. It just shows you all the controls and stuff for your machine, like buttons and things like that. But I'll click on it now. So here it shows you exactly how to save, load, reset, etc, etc. This is what your parts list will look like when you download it, so you can just take them and copy and paste them into your browser. But the one we are here mainly to look at, the build guide will take you back to this video. The download one will take you to our MakerWorld site, and the system file here, it will take you to Mega. The reason it's on Mega is it is a big file. Click on this, it'll take us to Mega. We will click download here, and we will get ourselves the zipped file for the operating system. Just download it to wherever you are, it doesn't make a difference. There we are. So we're going to start extracting this. We'll jump back in once it's done. Okay, whilst we're waiting for that to do its thing, you're going to download a program called win32discimager.org. I will leave a link to this down below in the description as well. So you're going to download this, and this will allow you to be able to write to your micro SD card. Once done, you'll have the file something like this, which is not zipped, it's just called 32GB core. So you do need a 32GB SD card for this. Make sure it is a new one if you can. You want something like a class 10 SD card, like a SanDisk or something high quality. You don't want to be using something low quality or an AliExpress special or anything like that. Okay, so you're going to open Win32 Disk Imager, and right up here what we're going to do is you're going to pop your SD card if you need into your computer. You may need a reader for this. It's not something I've put in the parts list because most people have them these days. Give it a try, just pop it into your computer. There we are. And all you're going to do is you're going to select what device it is. So mine would be H. You're going to select your image file here. On the desktop, you're going to select, or wherever you've downloaded it to, sorry, you're going to select your file. So I'm going to select right here, press open. That's going to, so from there, it's going to write to your device, and all you do is you press write. Once that's completed, you can just eject and take it out, and then pop it straight into your Pi, or we'll cover that as we go on. But now you've got the core operating system sorted on the memory card, we don't need to worry about that later. So let's look at the actual assembly now. Okay, so whilst we get into the assembly, I do just want to apologise for things such as audio quality and video quality. I'm very new to this, and I promise you I will try to improve something every video as we go along. First things first, you'll notice everything comes with its own dowel system. Some dowels are flat, and there's always some support bars and stuff like you'll see here, but they should all fit in perfect. Okay, a word of warning about glue here. We noticed a lot in the last arcade machine we made that people were using huge amounts of glue. This mitre bond adhesive, you do not need to use huge amounts of glue. A little goes a long way. You are just looking for it to touch the surfaces, not flood everyone. You will end up with an absolute mess. So remember, a little bit will be fine. Use a rubber topped mallet to put the dowels into place. Don't go too mad with it. They should fit in perfectly. They have been tested and scaled properly. and then just get them joined together. Do each part individually, and then you can assemble it all together at the end. You'll see here that we're using things like optional support brackets. This is just to give it a little bit more strength. The main reason being the whole monitor system here will be removable in case you need to change your monitor. One of the biggest complaints we had with the last machine was that the monitors were running out of stock. People would buy different ones, we couldn't fit them in, etc, etc. So just stick to making them like this and you'll be absolutely. Once you've got the monitor piece together, you can even do a little test fit with the monitor itself. We have left cutouts in the bottom of this so you can make sure you can fit your USB-C power or whatever your power your device uses, and the HDMI cable as well. Please bear in mind it's probably a good idea to put the cables into this before you install it into the actual side panels later on. It's one of the last things we install, but the reason being you won't have much room to play with. It is quite a compact system inside. What you'll find as well with this one is that because we want you to be able to use any 15.6 inch portable monitor, you can add these little screws into the back of it, not too tight, but enough to hold the monitor firmly in place, allowing this to be able to take quite a few different monitors. And what you see here, as we work through each individual part, just tap your dowels in, a little bit of glue. Please remember that it becomes a right mess if you don't. Use activator if you want to get it done quickly. A little spray of the activator will do you, but you do have to be fast when you are using the activator. When it comes to the marquee, or the bit above your monitor where you want to have lights and things like that, this is a little bit more tricky to put together, but it really isn't that bad. It's all about just taking your time, don't rush it, slow it down. So once you follow the process of all of them where you put your dowels in, what you'll do next is you will go ahead with putting the actual lighting and lettering and stuff in. Please note throughout this whole video, you'll see a very different variety of dowels. We tried out lots of different ones until we settled on ones that we've included in your print files below. So don't panic if the dowels look slightly different as you move along. Okay, once you've got it together, take your USB strip that you should have from your parts list. Use whatever colour matches the theme of your colour scheme, and you just want to run it right around the inside, as close to the back edge, like the inside edge as you can of the marquee. Just follow it all. If you need to, because some of these don't have the greatest adhesive, a little tiny dab of glue will do you well, and try to keep the USB thing out of the way, or when it lights up you will see it. And follow it all the way round. Once you've followed it round, just glue in slightly and insert your marquee design itself, whether you're using the Hexcade one or whether you have designed your own. And then you can even glue on the branding patch. Now we have put a blank one in as well if you want to make your own, but we just pop ours in here. So remember, a little amount of glue. For little pieces like this, I don't use mitre adhesive, I use just a simple super glue. And there you have it. Cut the end off the lights if needed, keep it all together, and that is nice and neat and tidy for when you plug it in. And you can see here me just testing to make sure it's all correct. There we are, all lit up as it should be. Just work your way along each panel section by section, gluing them together, putting the dowels in. Make sure when you get to some of them, they have got like little accessories like the rear handle piece. Make sure you insert the handle pieces as well. Use a good quality glue, as well as extras like this. This panel actually has the locking mechanism for the rear door. Okay, when you get to a panel that has threaded inserts that are needed to be inserted, get your soldering iron. Please be careful when using it. Use the holes should be perfect for M3 by 4 threaded heated inserts. So just pop them in, heat up your soldering iron, and you can press these right into place. Give it a few seconds to cool. You want it to sit just below the surface, so then you can use your bolts as well. Remember, if you are using the one that doesn't have the IEC socket and you're just going to wire an extension lead in, this part will not need threaded inserts. Just keep working your way along. You'll see all the parts and panels coming together nicely. And again, just remember, as you get to the parts that require accessories adding, such as start and select nameplates and things like that, get them popped in. And also, if you want to, at this point, as you do each panel, you can pop your buttons in as well, just to make sure they fit snugly. When it gets to the rear door, do this in 2 halves because it does have dowels in 2 sides. Just glue the bottom half together first, then the top half, and slide them together. Again, small amount of glue. Then you'll want to glue on the panel the panel description piece itself in the middle. Again, if you want to customize this, please feel free to do so. If you are going to want to lock this, you should be able to use a cam lock, a small cam lock as well, but we have done this so it is a simple threaded bolt that you'll print later on. And this is where you're first going to start using your hinges. So these should fit perfectly into the slots that are created. Just screw them into place, making sure that the actual hinge part is on the outside so the door does open outwards. When it comes to the button panel, just the same as everything else, start by putting your threaded inserts in. You'll need 8 completely on the bottom of the joystick side, so you'll need 4 for the joystick itself and then 4 for the control panel for the joystick. They should all be spaced perfectly, and once they're in, just assemble it as you have with everything else. Dowels, details, hinges as well, because these will be attaching to part of the frame. And again, one of the biggest complaints we had on the last machine was ease of access to the buttons should something go wrong. So this is on a hinged panel, but it can be locked as well as you go on. Make sure to remove the supports from this as well, from the bolt area, and just start assembling things into it. You can start sticking the buttons in, you can stick the control panel and the joystick as well. Just put the cables into any holes at the moment, it doesn't matter. We will go through a full wiring section later on. This is just to keep them out the way so they're not dangling everywhere when you're trying to install it. And it should come together looking neat like this. Okay, once you've done the centre panels, you're going to move on to the whole side panels themselves. So you've got a side A and a side B, which will guide you greatly in how to stick this thing together later on. So just lay it out first, make sure you've got all the pieces so you know what order it goes together. Work from the bottom up and it should all glue together nicely. Again, very important here, don't use too much glue. When you put the details in and stuff, make sure they're stuck down nicely. If you need to use the spray that comes with the glue to get it go quicker, please feel free to do so. Also use a rubber mallet, not anything else to put it together. You'll notice that in one side the Pac-Man logo has a hole in the mouth. That's because that's where your volume control will be for this machine. And again, if you want to customize any of this, please feel free to do so. You'll get to the point on both of them where you'll need to put 4 heated inserts in for the speakers. Again, should be lined up perfectly. Just put them in the same as you have with everything else. Nice hot soldering iron. Use the, if you have got one, you should have a threaded insert heating bit, because it's flat and it won't poke the soldering iron out of the other side. Fit your speakers, and then fit the additional, in the B, I think it's the B side, fit the additional audio holder guide itself, as you can see here, with 4 heated inserts. Then you can fit the amplifier PCB, and you can just glue that into place with the volume controller sticking out of the Pac-Man's mouth on the other side. And again, at this point, you can add the cables to it just to keep it nice and tidy. Don't worry about where they're plugged in at the moment. We'll cover all the wiring later on. Okay, we'll then move on to the other side. Just do what you did with the other one. Just start by laying it all out, working from bottom to top and sticking it together. Just making sure you've got every piece, and then you can start the gluing process. Use a rubber mallet as per usual. Once you've got the side together, add the details, add the buttons, things like that, all into place. Make sure you also add in the holders for the button control panel when it's hinged. This will allow you to screw it into place. And add the same threaded heated inserts for the speaker and for the Pi case on this side as well, which will hold the... And then you can install the speakers, again, put the cables in, nothing fancy, and you can even put the base for the Pi holder itself into place. Then you just want to work your way along and start installing each panel. Put glue into the actual side panel itself, into the receiving hole, add a little activator spray, and just pop each part into the corresponding letter. So A to A, B to B, etc., all the way round. I'd start with side A, it is definitely easier. And then don't worry too much at this point about rigidity and all that. It will come together as we move along. Just get it all in there. Add the glue and start popping all of the panels in. Work your way right the way round, and you'll end up with something. You'll end up with a half put together arcade machine. And once you've got all of this side together, for side A, just pop side B on the top. I'd suggest putting a small amount of glue in the holes on side B. There are 2 ways to do it. You can lie it flat and then put the side in, or you can just put it on top like I do here. I find it easier to put it on top and to just lightly tap it down with the rubber mallet as it goes around, and you end up with a nice tight snug fit. You see here, you end up with the core frame of the machine itself. At this point, you can put the monitor in, so just slot it into place, nice and easy, and use the securing bolts just to screw it in, so it's nice and secure. The reason I've designed it like this is so it's dead easy to take out should you want to change anything. At this point, you're going to want to go around and add in the screw-in parts, which would be your rear panel and your button control panel. Start with the button control panel. Just attach the hinges to the base itself. Again, the holes and stuff should all be in the exact same place. Once that's in, it should slot together nicely. And for the rear, just attach the rear door. Again, hinge system. There should be 3, I believe, on the back, and that'll get that nice and secure. Then just put these extra support rods into place where I'm showing you here. There should be 5 of them, and it will really firm up the rigidity of the machine and give it a lovely solid feel. That'll be the main machine assembled, and we will now jump into getting it set up, wired and ready to go. First thing we're going to do is assemble the Pi. Very simple to do. Just get it out, insert the previously prepared micro SD card underneath in this orientation, and then just install the heat sinks to make sure it stays cool. Using a Pi 3 for this, you're not going to need a fan, so don't worry about it for this machine. Pop the heat sinks into place, then install your Pi into the holder at the back of the machine here. You can use screws from the hinges for this. They work perfectly. Once done, you want to pop your power button, which is from the side, into GIO pins 5 and 6 as illustrated here, which will enable you to turn the machine on and off. Just pop it through the hole as I've done here, and then pop the lid on and use one of the hinge screws to secure it into place. Then we're going to move on to wiring the buttons. Again, all down this left-hand side of the control panel, the longest side with the white connections, this is where all of your buttons want to be. So pop them all in. It doesn't matter in what order at this moment in time. You can configure your controller again later on. But for the time being, just pop them all in. You will come across some that do not reach, and what you need to do then is use your spring connectors to extend them with your cables. Cut the ends off them. Use a cable stripper or a knife or whatever you need just to expose the ends slightly, and then use your spring connectors to extend them into the new 2-pin cable you have got. Make sure all of the buttons are put into here, including the start select button and the menu button on the side as well. Then, very simply, you can attach some cable tie points, if you like, to the back of the monitor stand with super glue, and use these for installing the USB extension cable. This should go from the LED strip straight into the Pi itself. That'll be powered by the Pi when it turns on. And you also want to make sure you add in your HDMI cable here. Now, we do use FPV cables, so just make sure the ribbon is nice and tight. It's kind of like a laptop cable. You want it to come from the monitor straight down into the Pi itself, depending on whether you choose to use a right angle bit here, or if you want to use a mini HDMI adapter, etc. Whatever's best for you, just make sure when you order the cables they will fit snugly in the side. You don't want to overshoot it. You'll also include the audio cable here, so your red and white leads straight into the jack port on the Pi, and then ensure your speakers are connected to the audio PCB on the other side, and then just spend a couple of minutes making sure everything's lovely and tidy. This is all before the power, so at this point you'll make sure your speakers are in, your USB extension from the LED into the Pi. You'll make sure all the buttons are down the one side of the controller, and that your joystick itself is plugged in with the silver contacts facing up. At this point, for power, you've either wired in an IEC socket as per manufacturer's instructions. Again, I can't give you advice on this because they're all different. Or you will just wire the extension lead in. You can use a 2 or a 4 port extension. I strongly suggest you use a 4 port extension lead, mainly because it allows for expansion, and also some of these audio PCBs come with either 5 volt or 12 volt adapters. It depends on how the manufacturer's feeling at the time. So I suggest you get the 4 port so you can power it directly from the mains plug that they send with it. The way it should be configured is the 1 port will power 2 USB ports to your monitor. You'll need both to maintain peak brightness. 1 will power the Pi itself, which then powers the lights, etc., and the controller, and 1 will power the audio. Spend some time, make it all lovely, neat and tidy, and that will be your wiring complete. Simple and easy. You can then power on your machine, and if everything's gone according to plan, you should be greeted with the Hexcade splash screen, which will load into Emulation Station. And again, it should immediately go to the point of we can't find any systems, which is fine because there are no ROMs at all on this for you. We haven't included any ROMs. So as I said, legally and due to copyright issues, I can't provide you with any ROMs, but you can see from the footage here, the machine runs flawlessly with games. I've tested this machine with this hardware from the Atari all the way up to the Sega Mega Drive, N64, etc., and I've had no problems. The operating system I've included, we have optimized it, we have made loads of changes, we have made sure all the correct BIOSes are in, it's updated, it's expanded, etc. So all you need to do is find some ROMs and add them. Totally up to you how you do it. Make sure everything you do is legal and above board, and I will leave a link down below in the description to the wonderful YouTuber ETA Prime, as he has done a fantastic video on how to add ROMs very easily. I suggest you use the USB stick method because it is very, very simple. Apart from that, your machine's up, running, and ready to go. I hope you've enjoyed this. I really, really thank you for sticking with me this long. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Please like and share if you like the video, and I would love a follow or a boost over on MakerWorld. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.